Welcome to the show. We are live on 96.9 The Game, streaming everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. You are in the zone, the show of the Orlando sports fan. Your host, Brandon Kravitz, joined by my co-host and producer today. Oh, what a treat this is. The reigning, defending, people's champion of sports talk radio. Oh, you didn't know that the double audio? Yeah, right. Yeah, we're on video right now, so anything on that side of the computer
is double audio.
Feed you up for and I just took away your big moment.
That's okay.
I know exactly
what was about to happen. Reigning, defending, undisputed people's champion, baby.
Stefan is in the house, if you couldn't tell already. We'll get you your theme music later on in the show. Don't worry.
I got time. I got tons of time.
We're live until 6 p.m. If you are following along on the video feed right now on Twitter or on Facebook, we will cut this in about 15 minutes, but you can always hop in on the iHeart Radio app or terrestrially on FM 96.9 and AM 740. Hit us up on the Mills Air text line. We want to hear from you all afternoon long. 50857. Your shot at a prize all throughout the course of the afternoon. Monster Jam tickets on today's show. A happy birthday is in order.
That's right,
for
sir.
Stefan. Not only is he sliding in on his big day.
That's right.
So text in right now. I saw you put this out on Facebook, so I'll roll it right over to our audience. The next 365 days of your life, can somebody give Stefan a good piece of advice?
Yes.
For the ageless one over there. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir.
You are how many times 25 at this point? Or how are you doing?
Almost 2 times 25. We're at almost 2 times 25.
What is happening to us?
I am 46 years old today.
We used to be young men.
Yeah, we did. We used to be young guys on the radio. What's better than that? Now we're old guys on the radio.
It is crazy. I started here almost immediately after I graduated from college, and I'm turning 40 in August, which I know in the grand scheme of things, especially with our demographic, a lot of people are listening to this going, I wish I was still 40 years old. I get it. But, man, time is flying for us. And it being your birthday is just another sign of that.
Absolutely. And 40, see, when you get into 40, I can tell you 40 is when things start getting really good. It does start getting really good at 40. But hitting this 46, I looked up and I was like, wow, 50's right there. Like 50 is a whole different ball game, man.
Yeah.
And 50 is right there.
I think that's the kind of advice we probably need on the text line is what to do as you inch closer to 50. 50857. Any piece of advice you can give that doesn't involve getting your prostate checked. We'll take that on the Mills Air text line. Last night was absolute insanity. Sitting down at dinner with my iPad on the table because we had Rubble and Crew going on the big screen for the kiddo. So I got my iPad on the table. I'm eating my pasta, locked in on the draft lottery, and they start rolling through the picks. You get the Nets at 8. I was astonished.
Yeah.
They tanked pretty hard. Oh, my God, they're at 8. That sucks for them. Then you get the Pels at 7. And I'm like, okay, good. They already got Zion. I don't feel like
on track.
They don't deserve the number 1 pick. Didn't want to see. They were on my short list of teams I didn't want to see get the top pick last night. So I was good with that. Then you had the Wizards at 6 and the Jazz at 5. And that's when things really got weird. The two teams, Stefan, that tanked the hardest are picking at 5 and 6. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Let's be honest. They didn't try that hard to tank, but they definitely did tank.
Oh, they were tanking. They were tanking. And whatever version of it you want to roll with, they were not putting out respectable lineups as the season went along. Then you hit a commercial break, and I am locked in. I am not going to miss this. My eyes don't leave the screen. I saw every ad they showed me. You get back from break. You get the Hornets at 4. You go, that was the next hardest tanking team.
Exactly.
I don't even know that they wanted to be in the fully tanking business, but LaMelo Ball got hurt, as he usually does.
And they didn't have any choice.
They lost 63 games.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get the top pick with that. Then you get Sixers, Spurs, Mavericks.
Wow.
And I threw my hands on top of my head like this in disbelief when I saw that. The most shocking thing in sports since Nico Harrison traded Luka Doncic, which makes it that much more ironic. I know, Stefan, that not only is there irony in that, there is also it's a bit coincidental.
Come on in, baby. Come on in.
Now, I will let you, if you're in that camp, you and I have not spoken about this since I got to the studio. I will let you in the audience have your moment briefly. You are allowed to think that the NBA is rigged and that the lottery is predetermined, and I will give you 5 seconds in that thought before I tell you why you're wrong.
Listen, now that we all know for a surety that the NBA is rigged, and we watched it happen last night, all you have to do is trade away your best player to Los Angeles, and they will make sure you get somebody to replace that person. That's all you got to do. Or you can have them go to Miami, or whatever you're doing, trade your best player for the benefit of the league to hit a very hard sweeps week with great news and lots of people paying attention, and you'll get rewarded on the draft lottery the following year.
All right. Yeah. I really respect you, and it's your birthday, so I hope you don't take this personally. But if you believe that this draft lottery is rigged, you have 5 active brain cells.
I don't believe that it's rigged, but I love that it's rigged. I love so much that it's actually rigged, but it's not.
That's a different lane. And you and I are wrestling fans.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my core memories as a kid was my dad saying to me, and this is in the thick of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, $1 Million Man. I remember him telling me, kiddo, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but I'm
sure kiddo wasn't in there.
I'm paraphrasing some, 35 years later. What they're doing out there is not real. You can't jump off a top rope and then with the full weight of your body, put your elbow in someone's chest. That would kill them.
Yeah.
And I remember going, and then going right back to wrestling. I did not care. I didn't care at all. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And now I don't believe that it's rigged, and I'll tell you why in a second. But if it was,
that's exactly how I feel.
Don't care.
Keep going.
Because you know what?
Good job.
The NBA constructing this storyline is so much more entertaining than the Hornets getting the top pick.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. If it's rigged, keep going. Your writers are fantastic.
Right. It's like, okay, so you rigged it. Do I know what's going to happen as the viewer?
Right.
As I'm trying to be entertained. Am I aware of what's going to occur? If the answer to that is no, then cool. All
I ask is that it's obvious that some of your higher paid writers are in other cities. If we could get some of them to want to live in the Sunshine State, maybe in the most populous tourist destination in the country, that would be fantastic.
So let me lay out to you why this is not the case. Okay.
Why it's not rigged.
It's not rigged. The NBA has too much to lose to go into some deep fake where they are rigging the draft lottery. Eventually that would be exposed. It would absolutely ruin the NBA, completely ruin it. This is different than a referee gone rogue. This is the league orchestrating who plays where and pulling the wool directly over their fans' eyes. That would not, and over the team's eyes, because then unless you're under the assumption that the owners are in on this, which why would they sign up for that?
Right.
So no, this is, if you are
just that owner. The rest of the owners don't know.
If you're in the conspiracy theory zone, then you're thinking the league office is the one that's constructing all of this, and maybe they have a side conversation with the GM or two. It's all ridiculous. This is akin to believing the moon landing is fake.
I was just going to say that.
If it was, and there is a non-zero chance that it was fake. There's also a non-zero chance that the NBA draft lottery is rigged. That's what gives this stuff life. There could be a 1% chance that you are right if you believe that.
Absolutely.
But there's a 99% chance that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because if the moon landing was indeed fake and it was exposed that it was as such, you would never listen to a word that came from the government ever again. You can't afford that. Now, there are plenty of you that don't listen to the government anyway, but maybe that's not the best example. But Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. The end. Also, there are reps that are in the room for these teams that, by the way, did not get the number 1 pick.
No, they did not.
Today, that they just spent the whole year trying to get the top pick and they didn't get it. So you have that. The Mavericks also, if they stayed healthy with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, would have been a top 6 team in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
So was Kyrie Irving's ACL injury fake? Are we faking injuries now?
Well, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, like those are two bad examples, I'll just say, for are we faking injuries? But I get where you're coming from, because I like the whole moon landing example as well, because you look at did we land on the moon? Let's say we did, right? How many people did it take for us to land on the moon? Say 500. So 500 people had to keep this secret for 32 years. Yeah, that doesn't happen, right? And it's the same thing in the NBA. We're talking about a good 100 or 200 people involved in the draft lottery, including the accounting company that has to do the certification that this is real. So they're putting their reputation on the line. Like, there's no way.
And you've met people in sports and in sports media. They're the biggest gossip queens you've ever met.
Absolutely.
There's no way they're keeping this under lock and key. And then what makes even less sense is for anybody in this market in particular who claims to be a Magic fan that then wants to stand on their platform and say the lottery is rigged as if it's a bad thing. The Magic have won this thing 3 times.
So many times.
If it's rigged, it's working for you.
Yes, it is.
This is like a kid who has all the answers to the test screaming that other kids in the class are cheating. Shut up. You're getting A grades. Leave it alone. Okay. You're benefiting from the system.
Great.
So Magic fans should be the last. They should be the last group that says this is rigged. And then if you go, well, but what? Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, which turned into Penny Hardaway, and Paolo Banchero. It's not like the Magic got the number 1 pick in bad drafts.
Right. Not at all.
So just cut that out if you're a Magic fan.
Yeah. The idea that it's rigged, while it's fun, to talk about, it's fun to play in.
So do you believe it? Honestly, kind of stuff. Do you think?
No.
Okay.
God, no. Like it would be, I might like it better if it was, to be honest with you. But at this point in time, it can't be rigged. Like there's not enough puzzle pieces to put together for it to truly be rigged. And it's funny because Howard said something on his show today that I appreciated. He was like, listen, the NBA has set it up to where you don't get the first pick just because you tank. Yes, you have a better opportunity to get it, but it doesn't mean you're going to get it. And if you think about who's been dead last over the last 10 to 20 years, they never get the first pick. And he was like, it's basically a raffle. And we've all entered raffles. Yeah, he was like, we've all entered raffles and we never win. It could be you and 7 other people and you bought 42 tickets and you still lost. Because that's how raffles work. It's just the way it is.
Unless you're a zone head. We always make sure that our listeners win prizes.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Well, to that point, since the NBA draft lottery changed its system to flatten out the odds, that was back in 2019. The team with the league's worst record has never won the lottery and picked first overall. This marks the 3rd straight year that a team with the league's worst record picks 5th overall. So there is no incentive to tank, and yet teams still do it because that 14% is just shiny enough to cause these teams to want to tank. It's enticing enough to make them want to tank, but it's not rewarding enough to actually get the payoff. I mean, it is akin to the 17-leg parlay that our listeners will place on an NFL Sunday. Yeah, you can win, but you're probably not going to.
Exactly.
But it's just, some company out there tweets out, oh, hey, so-and-so just won $1 million.
Yeah, on a 14-legger. It's like, see, I could be the one. And you're right. It's that 14% number that says I have better odds than you do. And so I'm going to do the thing that brings me better odds. But if I'm watching the numbers, I kind of want to be in that 7-8 spot. I don't want to be last on the list because I have a better opportunity of getting that number 1 pick. Actually, if I've done better than the last person on the list.
I mean, based on the way the last couple of years have gone, but still no. 14% is always going to be better than 6%.
The whole point is you don't know who's going to get it. And I think part of it is you don't want to send whoever the best player coming out of college is right now to the worst team in the world all the time.
But why? The NFL does that and works out great. They do it every year.
Great.
I think it works out.
I mean, it works
well.
out. It works out good. It works out good for us as viewers. But the team picking first in every NFL draft is not doing great the next couple of years. It's happened a few times, but
you at least have the chance
if
you get your affairs in order.
Well, that's the other part.
I think that this really, the last couple of years, has exposed that we need a new system, because you're not. It's like, okay, you have the lottery to limit tanking, but you haven't limited it completely,
right?
And then the teams that are at the bottom
they're not getting better.
They have no other strategy. No free agent out there is going to Charlotte.
No.
Nobody's going to Utah. They have to go into the draft and pick right. And the best way to pick right is to have your pick of the litter. It's the easiest way to make sure you don't miss someone if your scouting department's halfway.
I think also because of what you're talking about, the NFL versus NBA, what the NBA draft is versus the NFL draft, right? NFL draft, you could find somebody in round 6, 7, whatever, that could significantly contribute to your team. In the NBA draft, round 1, guy number 7, and that's it. We don't care about guy number 8 and after in the NBA draft in most cases. So you've got a much smaller pool of dynamic, franchise changing talent. And I believe the NBA has decided, like, if you're the worst, we don't want to help you. We're not here to make you better just because you're the worst. Figure it out.
And I think that they can take those odds and plummet them even further. My idea, and we'll talk about this more later on in the show, would be to flatten things out completely. Just make it a full randomizer of who gets the top pick.
That would be great.
And then everybody tries
to get all the percentages. Just everybody gets one ball, and you just run them balls until they come out.
Stop incentivizing losing when there's no incentive to lose. It's maddening. Up next, NFL schedules are trickling out, and I've got 5 NFL teams that are on the rise. I'll give you that list next.
Now, your chance to win